electioneering period, we begin to see some politicians use entertainers and musicians to help push their agenda. It is no doubt a lucrative time for Kenya's music and entertainment industries, but there have been questions around whether some of these prominent individuals actually care about the politics of this country. Well, tonight on the Voters Hub, we speak to some big names on their role during this season. Are their arrangements they make with politicians purely transactional, or do they support their agendas? Are they willing to use their influence to speak truth to power? And what do they want to see out of this election? Well, joining me in studio is Helen Mtawali, a vocal coach, renowned musician and lecturer, as well as gospel artist and composer of the popular campaign song Tano Tena Ben Githai. Now, we were hoping to have comedian Eric Omondi with us, but he is not able to join us tonight. Now, this could be a conversation or a concert, depending on how it goes. But let me start with you, Helen. Yes. In terms of how you gauge this particular election cycle, how do you think it's going so far, from your perspective?
First of all, every entertainer introduces themselves. So let me introduce myself. It's 2 minutes of fame. Helen Olivia Akoth. Oh, it's news. My name is Helen Olivia Kothomolo Nyarnya Kach Makina na Kawuto Tadwongora, therefore.
Wow. Thank you for that introduction. But how do you see this election cycle?
Yeah. Talking about elections, I love my country because this is a time where a lot of comedy, a lot of things happen. People sometimes get very insensitive. Yeah. And I'm glad that you've been able to actually see that point, that entertainers sometimes are used by politicians to push their agenda. I want to say that personally, I love it that they engage musicians, especially Kenyan musicians, to help push their agenda anyhow. But I want to say that for a Christian like me, you want to be a little sensitive and see, much as you want me to push your agenda, are you still also pushing people's agenda, or it's just your own interest?
Right.
So right now it's going to be very, very hot. I personally thank God because at least I joined a political party.
Interesting.
I don't know whether I'm supposed to mention, but yeah. My political party, you know it. And it has opened my eyes to the political arena. I personally had zero to do with politics in Kenya because of the name calling and the way people disrespect each other. But for once, I have seen the essence of where Kenyans have a voice.
So you joined as an aspirant or just as a member?
No, just as a member.
As a member?
Yes, and because it's also part of my work to ensure that with my skills, communication skills, I'm able to help them push their agenda.
Mr. Ben Githai, back in 2017, your song, a lot of people said it was the reason the team Huruto got into State House again. What impact do you think it had in terms of that song?
Well, let me first say I'm grateful to be invited here and even to meet you. And I can see that it is true, you are beautiful.
What a way to woo the interviewer. But go ahead.
And Tano Tena was quite impactful as far as 2017 election are concerned. And it is true, it is even, it has impact up to today because people keep on talking about it. When mafuta imeongezewa, they say it is because of Tano Tena. When there is traffic jam on Thika Road, they say it is because of Tano Tena. So we feel the impact. Yeah. And I can actually say I didn't start in 2017. 2013, I was there because when Uhuru and Ruto were going to Hague, they used to have rallies. Yeah. They called them prayer rallies. Yeah. And they used my song, Mafataro song. Every time when they were going, I could join them with my colleague, Shirowa GP, and we could do her song, Nekore Gai, and I could do Mafataro. So I didn't join politics in 2017. I was there. Yeah. And I felt that because now it is clear that Raila is coming. What is my contribution towards the 2017 election, and what could I do for Uhuru? So I sat down and I composed the song. Just a few words. I didn't know it will come to be such big, and I'm happy that they won. And today I'm still relevant, and people are expecting that I do something. Juicy too. I did just 2 stanzas. Mulima wote, Baba Tosha, and everybody was, what? Now Ben wants to come with another thing.
Right.
So I'm here, and I'll tell people the direction that I'm going to take.
But I wonder, Ben, because, 2017, the song was against Raila.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Now you're pushing Baba.
Yes.
Into State House with a new song.
Yes.
Are you worried that people feel you're just choosing sides based on what's popular and you're not standing by something?
Of course, even God himself is not neutral. If you fall Satan, God will reject you. And but you have the free will to do what you have. And when I was talking to you over the phone, you asked something about ideology.
Yes.
And dynamics change. That time I was supporting Uhuru. And I started to support Uhuru from 2007, coming all over. And when he came and told me, Ben, because of a few things, this is the direction that I want us to take. And he has never misled me. So I asked him, so you are no longer there? And he told me, no, I'm no longer there. So this is the direction that we take because of this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
I have to follow, and that is why I'm there with Raila today. Because there are so many reasons.
Yeah.
You know, when you divorce, and I'm not saying that we are divorcing.
We've seen a lot of divorces in politics.
You don't have to tell the children everything that happened between you and their dad. So not every detail that are being given today, but we know these 2 people are not working together, and Uhuru is with Baba, and for a few people that know there are some reasons, we are with Baba up to the end.
Let me ask this, and there's a tweet here, Helen, let me direct it to you, from Engineer Lazaro saying, this is the time for musicians to reap from politicians, nothing like informing Kenyans. We've already taken firm stand. So it's almost like Kenyans expect, no, you'll pocket the nice money from, going on the campaign trail, but beyond that, how does it help me, the voter? So what is the role of musicians, entertainers during this time, beyond nice songs and entertaining on the campaign trail?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that with Kenyan politics, that's what falls. Because people are looking for people to trust. Even the church, people are looking for the church. And since they are nowhere, then they don't know how to be genuine.
Yeah.
And remember, we're coming from a corona time where musicians had zero work. I tell you, if somebody is calling you to come and pocket 3 million because of writing one song, would you stay at home? So by all means, there are things and reasons why you would want to pocket some money, and whether you really get appealed for by whatever chama it is or whatever rights there are, doesn't really matter. But I want to tell you that on the contrary, Kenyans are very, very wise, and they're very, very intelligent. Much as we are seeing a lot of all this, whatever, hula baloo and stuff, Kenyans know what they want, including musicians. Yeah. And don't be surprised that in future, musicians would even be standing in those places of politics. We've just finished this great award ceremony. We were celebrating women, we're saying break the bias, etc. So as we walk along, there are people getting educated, and there's a lot that now touches the soul. Yeah. Today, we were with the coalition, some of those leaders who right now are aspiring. And one of the things that Ruben Kigame said is like, Kenyans have stopped thinking with their eyes and by what they see. It's about time. They feel it in their heart.
Interesting. Ben, I have to ask this because you get close to powerful people more than the average voter. right? You've just talked about your relationship with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I wonder, do you benefit from that relationship as a musician now? You know, in between those elections, the struggles that musicians go through. And I remember seeing you during the parliamentary deliberations for the copyright bill,
yes,
where, you know, you're fighting for a bigger chunk of the Skiza tunes.
Yes.
You know, in all this time, that hasn't happened. And, you know, considering how close you are to the president, has it benefited you at all as a musician?
Well, at a personal level, it has benefited me. Because even when a preacher is preaching, you don't question so much about the tithe and where he is taking his tithe. So, but obviously you know he is benefiting. And the Bible says that you don't have to tie a horse on its mouth when it is grinding wheat. So personally, I benefit. Collectively, we are also benefiting. You have talked about Skiza, and when we are in parliament, we lobbied through the connections that we have, because we know we can call a particular MP and we lobby, and that is how we have reached to the position that we are in, that we came from 16% of revenue share to 40%. Now, the bill is already on the president's desk, waiting to be signed for 52% increase. So, collectively, we have used the influence that we have to benefit the whole industry. You have talked about roles, and I feel I should respond. Artists are there to make people know that it is important for them to vote. And 3-4 weeks ago, we were all over telling people it is your right to register. It is your obligation, it is your responsibility to register as a voter. We even respond to politicians when they say something wrong. Like I think it is yesterday, a politician was there in cursing and insulting people that they are not circumcised. We give statement that people should read the Bible and know that circumcision is not only between the legs, it should be from the soul and even between the head. And that is our role, to tell politicians that what you are saying, it is wrong. About curses that were there in 1969, we have to remind them the book of Exodus, the book of Deuteronomy, that curses of our fathers, it is not a must they affect children today. That is our role, even to rebuke them. And we have been doing that.
So let me ask this as we wrap up, because we're running out of time. But, you know, you two are very influential voices in this country when it comes to music, and beyond music, I should say. What would you want to see out of this election cycle? August 9th, as Helen Tawali, as Ben Gidai. I'm sure you'll be voting. But what do you want to see come out to benefit you and the industry as a whole?
Good question. One of the things that I really desire and covet from all the leaders is these leaders lead as people knowing that they're leading, and that they get examples from God. And apart from just leading, they should know that there's integrity, honesty, and all those things that are expected from leaders. All this name calling and battling out there within them, I mean, among the masses. When you go to the masses, talk to them about issues. Don't fight. Stop calling names. My desire is, why is a Muzungu not fighting after elections? And we are fighting. Let's stop the battles, man. It was about time we took this as people and also belong. If I didn't know the essence of having a chama, belong somewhere. Vote. Because if you want change, the only way you can be able to create positive change is to be part of it and vote. Go and get what it takes to vote. Register somewhere. JFP is giving people tickets for free, bwana. Register somewhere. Go and belong, so that when we now want to see who is leading, you will have played a big part. And then last but not least is, I look forward for this country that we say is peaceful. How do we say we are peaceful yet we are tunachokozana? Stop chokozana ring. Let's look for the peace. Let's see peace. Don't start saying alifanya. Look for peace, and let's find it first from the leaders.
Ben?
Yes, as an artist, I'm looking forward to a quite peaceful election, and we beseech all leaders, as my sister is saying, that they should advocate for peace. Every time when people are competing, there must be a loser and a winner. And that is how life is. And there is Kenya even beyond 9th of August. Still, let me insist this. Nobody wants a boring campaign. So artists will be needed. And they should be paid their due. And I would urge artists to negotiate so that they afterward hawatasema tuliwekwa juu ya lori na hatukulipwa sijui nini. They should negotiate very well, and people should realize that there is nothing for us without us. That is why we were there when Skiza was being negotiated in Parliament. So even after elections, we want to see artists in boards, in nomination. They are nominated as MCAs and MPs because they have contributed to the government that is coming. So we should not be ignored. We are here to stay, and we want our due. Yes.
Thank you so much, Helen Tawali, Ben Githai, for your insights. Of course, it's a conversation that will continue as the campaigns continue to heat up until August 9th. That does it for Voters Hub. Keep the conversation going on social media, #CitizenWeekend, #Voters Hub. We take a short break. We'll be back with much more.